might as well record it.
Yeah, we are recording it. Pat and Andy live, ready to talk about some hot shit. This is gonna be a loose one. Andy Malfrina here. You know me as the main touch me. I am what is in fact known as. Oh, I got a little kitty cat. I got a kitty cat.
Oh my god, it's usually me with the kitty cat on there. Oh my god, this is exciting.
Kitty cat.
Oh, it's even
And
got jazz hands too. I like it.
and that's his time limit.
Wow, that was it, huh? That's all you can afford.
Yeah, he died. Oh, sorry. I meant time limit of life.
Oh my god. Well, this is a good. I think we have a new topic now.
So, Andy, how are you dealing with that grief?
Yeah, how's the grief going? Is it gonna be? How are you gonna feel on the other 8 lives? Actually, that cat's got 3 legs, so it's probably 7.5 lives now.
We definitely bought him with 3 of the lives used up.
You bought that cat?
You sack of shit.
You bought that cat? Damn.
Yeah, we bought the shit out of that cat. Well,
did you keep the receipt?
that also was cut in thirds. But no, we well, no, not like bought. We went to the vet and they not the vet, the pound.
You adopted.
Yeah, we saved it.
We saved too.
Oh, you're a saver? You're a bit of a saver?
You're a savior?
Oh, I didn't know I was podcasting with a hero as well.
I actually, most of, if not all of the cats I have ever owned.
What if I just walked away? Sorry, I was like turning my head to see something over here. Like, what if it just mid-conversation I walked away and you're like, I don't know. It's his stream. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, well, I would immediately take it over and fill it with farts and pee and anything I could. Like, really. Actually,
like,
honestly,
here's my other list of Jews.
It's gonna be it's gonna be basically no different than my streams. I think that's usually how I talk now. I've pretty much learned just to be Andy. I want to be myself in any scenario.
That makes sense.
It does.
Yeah, I'm a little sleepy today.
Okay. Why?
I didn't. What?
You have a long day yesterday?
No, I had a long evening, not a cool partying evening. Andy, no, dude, I don't know what the fuck happened, but I woke up Saturday with like minor. We're working on getting a new bed. We're talking to people. We're pricing out different potential sellers, and we got to get a new bed because Andy's been having severe like back and neck problems. And I woke up with a minor twinge fucking Saturday. And then I laid down Saturday night, woke up in the middle of the night, and it was brutal. Your boy could yeah, dude, I could I was doing a lot of wincing, like a lot of like slight motion. And I'd be like, like a bunch of that shit. It was a lot. And then, yeah, so it was brutal. Couldn't get to sleep. Thought I tried to take a hot shower in the middle of the night to maybe like loosen my back up or whatever. And then I just eventually went to a massage place today. Shouts out Judy at Barefoot Massage. She tore my goddamn back up. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I don't know what the fuck they teach them. But you can take like the tiniest, oldest Japanese lady and teach her some pressure points, and she could just be a UFC level submissionist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy. Just like, and my elbow's gonna go here and bah. And I'm literally just making noise. I was I was worried she would like think I was trying to like solicit her or whatever, like being like, maybe it's one of those massages. Because no, legit, there would be parts where she'd like hit my back and I had to hold it in. If I didn't hold it in, I was just gonna be like, like it was just, she was fucking my back up, dude. But I feel a lot better now. It's still like a little bit tightness right here. But yeah, long story short, I was pissed too, man, because I've been having like a good routine going on the weekends. Like your boy normally wakes up at like 5 a.m. during the week. So I wake up around 7. I still get to sleep in for 2 hours, but I still get shit done during the day. I've been doing some early morning streams, but I got no sleep last night and I fucking slept till like 11. I was sad. I was sad about it, but I'm happy because I'm here to talk to my buddy about goofy screamo math metal.
I am very happy to be here to talk. Said Screamo barefoot. Wait, no, the barefoot thing. I have to ask you a question about the barefoot thing. You said barefoot massage. Is it like why do they have to be barefoot? Like
It's
what are
just
they?
the name. They're not. No.
Oh. I thought
They
it was like a style of thing. I was like, what is that? So you can look at their bare feet, you weirdo? Like,
no. I
because
think it
like there's a
was.
little thing. It's like, oh yeah, man, a little bit of show, whatever.
Yeah, you have to go in talking like Rodney Dangerfield. Like, hey, where's the fee? Make up. I can't do fucking.
Get the feet.
I can't do fucking Rodney Dangerfield. No, it I think part of the thing they specialize in like foot massages and stuff. Bro, she
You're
did.
barefoot, and they're rubbing your bare feet. Okay,
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
have the option.
why did you have to be barefoot? I was like, what does that have to do with your fucking massage? But
Uh,
it was like it's just the name of the place, and possibly they would give you a foot because I've gotten one massage in my entire life. I've never gotten a massage except for this one time with Dom. We got a couples massage, or as I like to call it, a his and hers hand jobs, and we were in the same room and they had a guy and a girl, and the girl massaged me, and the guy massaged her, and I was like, that's kind of weird, right? That felt like it felt weird that it was like a couples thing, but also I was like, that doesn't really matter. I don't care. You know
you've
what I
only
mean?
gotten a massage once.
Yeah, that this one time, like, and
Yeah, I've gotten a
I
hand.
I would do it for like a lot longer. You know what I mean?
Mm. I've gotten a handful. I've gotten a handful in my life. They're very enjoyable. But I think you need to because they're like, for the longest time they were always sort of like getting massages regularly. They were sort of like out of my price range.
Yeah.
But now they're kind of getting, especially too, the stimmy just hit. My paycheck's going to be fat next week, and then we're filing our taxes. Right now, Andy's got massage money. I'm a bit
Andy's
to do.
talking in third person money. I like this.
Yeah.
Andy, like you mentioned a couple times. Once Andy gets a massage, Andy says Andy this and Andy that, and Andy.
Well, shout once again, dude. Judy loosened Andy up. So the fucking, I am a little bit sleepy today, but I think the thoughts are flowing. I'm functioning a lot better. I may go back. I may just I might start smoking cigars. I don't do that. I
Yeah.
don't. Actually, no. I do have 2 cigars in my. My brother-in-law made me a fucking little mini humidor, so I got that chilling in the bedroom. I got 2 cigars in there. I got Conor McGregor's whiskey. We will talk about the number 12 looks like you in a minute, but we're fucking catching up. You sacks
Proper
of
number
shit.
12. The proper number 12 looks like you, huh? Fookers.
God damn, Fooker. Yeah.
Fookers. Fookers. I like how you said it like a vato. Fookers. Hey, you want some whiskey, Fookers?
Hey, what's a whiskey?
I think this is like, the massage thing, like it was so enjoyable that like I was like, I could see, like I could see this turning into like a habit thing, but then I feel like you wouldn't feel as much of the relaxation or the, you know what I mean? Like you would just kind of,
Well,
it
I want
would
to
be a
try.
short reset. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to try to. I want to try to get like 2 or 3 more over the course of the next like 2 or 3 2 or 3 months, just to sort of see. Because I've always gotten massage. I've only ever gotten massages when I'm real bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because like right now, I have like my shoulder was hurting this morning, at a point where I was like, oh, I might not be able to fucking make it into work if I don't do something about this.
Right.
So I've only gotten massages when I absolutely need one. Like I've called off work because I can't fucking move or whatever. But I want to try to kind of get them a little more regular to see if, because I've always sort of like I've done the warehouse worker equivalent of playing hurt my whole life. Like
Yeah.
I've always just like been like, yeah, dude, I do, man. I've fucking worked in kitchens and warehouses my whole life. Like I just like my shit'll be tight from time to time. But I was thinking about it. I'm like, you do have the money to go a little more often. What would happen if you just weren't tight? You know?
Right.
Yeah, it's just become, it's a part of me becoming older. Just like when I was younger, I could get away with just being in sort of behind the 8 ball and whatnot. And now that I'm older, I'm like, I don't like that. Like, what if, let's try this on for size. Let's try like doing things well. Let's try not being a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Let's try treating yourself. I'm doing it on all fronts. Like I hired Nate as a stylist. He's helping me pick out shoes and shit. Like, yeah, I'm realizing I'm realizing I have to go about my day like not just being like, yeah, I'm just the fucking piece of shit. No, you're a gold star, and you
You're good
deserve
looking piece of shit.
you deserve to shine. You deserve to shine, motherfucker. And I got this hair. Well, that was the other part of it. I got this haircut. I look hot as fuck. And I just need to. My outside needs to match. Well, everything else on my outside needs to match this beautiful face right now.
Honestly, I couldn't agree with you more because I know you're red on the inside and I know you're red on the outside. So let's just make sure we cut you open. And wait, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like I'm doing the same thing. I can completely relate with what you're saying because I just started drying my hair like this, as opposed to.
What?
Have you ever done that?
No. What have you been doing?
If you just squeeze it like
Wait,
this, Don showed.
for the audio listeners, what were you doing?
No, I'm not gonna tell them. I'm not. I'm not gonna give them the secret. If you want to know what the secret is, go to the fucking either YouTube, Andy's YouTube or myself's. My wait, what? Baby Murray Productions YouTube, or just go like this. See that? You don't. Yeah, they don't see that. So
Yeah, you fucking don't actually.
you don't fucking see it. You don't even fucking hear it. But no, if you squeeze, like if you just take the towel, like when you get out of the shower, and instead of like doing like this to like the friction, to dry your hair, that's what I'm used to, like the back and forth.
Yeah.
I do like if you just squeeze it with the towel. This is what like ladies do.
Okay.
I think to preserve the natural. This is what right now what I'm doing, Andy, is called embracing my natural curl. This is a little just messy because I styled it last night and then I slept. I had a very late night as well, Andy.
Nice.
I didn't go to bed until we didn't even get home till 1:00.
Shit, where were you?
Fort. What was it? For some dude, terrifying. First of all.
Oh yeah, you were on a mountain.
Holtwood, Pennsylvania.
You were doing mountain shit.
Yeah, yeah, mountain shit on the top. I was doing comedy for hill folk. It was weird. It was as soon as we got up to the top. You know how like if you set up your GPS, like if you start it with a strong connection, it can kind of hold the connection all the way through.
You get a little bit of juice from earlier in the ride.
Right.
And that brings you into the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, yeah, if you can it gets you there. And then when you go to leave, it's like
you're like,
I don't have
fucking luck.
idea. Like we were sitting down and like it's because all of the black comedians kept expressing their concern to me about exactly where we were and how none of us have cell service. There is no Wi-Fi. Like it was just like it was a little scary. I think everybody was a little nervous at first. I just kept telling them like I have been so callous to those kinds of shows like that. I had for a good period of I think 2018 or 19, maybe both years. I don't even. It's like a blur. I spent most of my time on the road in the middle of fucking nowhere everywhere.
Yeah.
Like doing those fucking shows for people that you're like, I don't know. There's a lot of cell phones on belts. There's a lot of shirts tucked in. So, you know what I mean?
Old belt cell phone.
And then you go up there and you go like, hey, I smoke weed sometimes. And they go like, that's hilarious. And I go, oh, you like me. And then and then we just go on with it. You know what I mean? Like as long as you figure out, it's just like any other crowd.
You got to figure out how to talk to them.
It's just weird being somewhere you absolutely have no idea where you are, and it's only like an hour from where I live, which is nuts. Like I would never get home from here if I didn't have GPS.
I felt that where I did some country club up by like Stroudsburg, and that shit was crazy. Speaking of like GPS, because the fog, I remember the fog was like unreal, and you're just like laughing. You're like, damn, dude. If I didn't have GPS, I just wouldn't do the show tonight.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't make any money.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't make any money. I wouldn't get to do comedy. And if I got too far, I may not get home.
Yeah.
If I just decided to turn around, it may be too late.
Yeah. It's fucking wild. Well, hey, man. This has been lovely. This has been lovely catching up. But we gotta.
Yeah, it's great. See you later, man.
All right, good episode. Anyway, number 12 looks like you. Decent album. All right, have a good one.
See you later.
So let's we did a little catching up. It's great to hear. Pat, he's got a new hair technique. I have a new treating myself properly technique. We're fucking good. But I want to talk about today. This was my pick for this week. The album that we always ask the question every week, what about? And that album, I asked that question. I said, what about Mongrel by the number 12 Looks Like You? And if you guys don't know, we have the through line thematically sort of throughout all the episodes of like what we talk about, sort of references what we talked about the week before. And I brought up this album by the number 12 Looks Like You because last week Pat brought up what was the name? One of Us Is the Killer by the Dillinger Escape Plan. And sort of listening to that album, it made me realize like this album for me was sort of my version of that when I was younger. And when I was younger, this was like, because I think for me, like there would be an album, like one of the first big sort of metal oriented albums that had a big shift in sort of the shit I listened to musically was definitely, I brought it up earlier, Hot Damn by Every Time I Die. But even that one, looking back at it, it's still a little more, it's a lot closer to mainstream metal than it is to this stuff. And sort of this album by number 12 Looks Like You was a big one for me in another step closer to like just another step farther out to sort of the, you know, without going to, oh, here's some fucking noise rock where it's just like, well, this band this band is comprised of men throwing books down a staircase, and they try to sort of figure out the sonic vibrations of, no, not that. I'm not talking about that horse shit. Sort of like on the outskirts of music while still having like actual musical instruments trying to make actual songs and stuff like that. Number 12 Looks Like You sort of represents another step farther out into like sort of expanding what I like my personal definition of music and stuff like that. So it was definitely very interesting going back listening to this again. It brought like a lot of it's interesting looking back at it because at the time this was the only thing like that I'd ever listened to, and now going back to it, it's like you take it for granted how unique I take it for granted how unique it was for me back in the day, because I've definitely gone more so in that direction with certain things musically. So it's a little more commonplace than it would have been the day I actually like listened to it for the first time. Have you ever listened to this band before?
I had not. I think this was maybe a band that would show up on a couple of compilations and stuff like that, and I was aware of them. But if you remember correctly, I thought there was going to be a whole lot of bullshit I was going to have to deal with this album.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Yeah, if you remember correctly. And we were, I did absolutely all-time low this band. I thought they were, in fact, heavy low. And I thought this was going to be a real fucking slog of a fucking listen. But I enjoyed it. And this
Really?
it's going to be, I will give the band for sure that it reminded me of the most, because I'm going to have to, because there's so many similarities in my mind. Have you ever heard of a band, The Fall of Troy?
Yes. I tried to, what the fuck? I tried really hard when I was in a band in like college. I tried really hard at, do you remember Croc Rock in PA?
I thought Croc Rock. I was thinking that song by Elton John.
Well, that's what it was named after. But there was a big where I grew up in PA, closer to like Allentown, Bethlehem area. There was a big venue. Well, it wasn't actually big. It was like your average bar type. Did you just pop on Croc Rock right now? Is that what you're vibing?
I'm about to, like, it's easy, it's so much fun.
That's a heavy piano rock one. That gives you a lot of like that's
a keyboard smasher right there.
Yeah.
Like a fucking dashboard smasher.
I gotta imagine he hits a good like backhand swipe up the keys. He's gotta hit one of those on that.
Sorry, you got me on the Elton John Crocodile Rock. But what was that? Croc Rock? What was this now?
Well, yeah, it was a big venue, Croc Rock, and it was one of the bigger sort of. It was the big small venue in the area, if that makes any sense. It was the big venue that like a lot of popular bands that hadn't start yet playing theaters would play at. And Fall of Troy was playing there one time, and I listened to them a lot and I liked them a lot. And I was trying real hard to get my band on that show. And I remember the guy running it was just like, no local bands, which I was just like, you mean no, not popular bands because you want to sell tickets. I was like, what are you talking about?
More like, no, we're from out of town. I mean, like we're not from here, wherever this place is, right?
Yeah. I was like, that always made me laugh because I was like, that's not it. Because I've played shows there many a time.
I saw it was weird because even with I just saw, or not when I just saw, the last time I saw Refused with the Hives. I was looking at the poster over there.
You and the Hives went, or they opened for the Hives?
Me and the Hives went to go see Refused, and and actually the opening band was a band from Philly. I fucking can't remember their. Hold on, nope, they're not on the poster. Yeah, that's how I know, because they're from Philly, and they were fucking really good. And they have like, they were actually in the kind of same vein. And I noticed this, like, they had actually multiple local bands opening up. It was at the Franklin Music Hall, which used to be the Electric Factory.
Yeah, that's the Electric Factory.
And they had multiple local bands playing for them, but I think it was like from like Baltimore, from whatever, but we were in Philly. This was a Philly band, and it was really cool. So like that, no local bullshit, like, unless these guys were just being super cool, or they're just like, fuck them, we're not gonna pay them, but yeah, put them on the show. We
Yeah.
give us the money. I don't know what it was exactly, but it was cool to see that they had, like, it brought me back to like Battle of the Band shows, like, and stuff like that, when I was in bands, like seeing other local bands and just being like, fuck, they're so much better than us. Or just being like, these guys suck, we're gonna blow these guys out, you know what I mean? Like, it just seemed like it had that kind of energy. It was really cool.
Yeah. So wait, what about them? Because I did listen to for like 2 or 3 albums, I did listen to the Fall of Troy pretty regularly. What about number 12 reminded you of the Fall of Troy?
Well, it kind of felt like this is, I think, the closest, honestly, I feel like, as far as like bands that like, or albums that you legitimately like, that that like we can like totally connect, like, this is the closest we've ever been to, aside, actually, no, we did Every Time I Die, which is one of our favorite bands.
It's like both of us, it's one of our favorite bands, right?
Yeah, but this one in particular, of a band that I've never listened to, and a band, but it reminds me so much of one of my all-time favorites, which is The Fall of Troy. I feel like this is like that, that is one of their albums is absolutely going to be my suggestion for this album. Not a spoiler alert, teaser. It's a teaser.
It's a bit of a teaser.
It's a teaser. Oop, it's a teaser. But I enjoyed this. I thoroughly enjoyed this album. It was like a breath of fresh, very screamy air. There's a lot of again, very ADD. I feel like this is a very ADD version of Fall of Troy. They hit a lot of the same marks that Fall of Troy hits, and this may be like they just reminded me of like early this band, or this Mongrel, the album that we're doing today, reminded me of early Fall of Troy albums.
Interesting. I've not. I'll be excited to listen to Fall of Troy this coming week, because I've never made that connection. I'm not saying it's there. I've personally never made that connection, but I've never been like looking for it. But I should.
You said for a couple albums too, so like this, I don't know exactly which albums. You don't have to tell me, but the suggestion I have may be the one that you're like, oh wow, he's right. This one does remind me of
yeah, because I know I was in. Well, we'll talk about it next week. But yeah, you know what was funny? I don't know if it was the weather or what, but this was not the week for me to be listening to this album.
Oh really?
Because here's the thing, I don't dislike the album. I think I brought this up when we were talking about. Or I should say, I had more of a realization of what I like about this album. And it kind of I thought about it. I thought about it. Or wait, no. What am I trying to say? No, we mentioned it a little bit when when we were talking about the Dillinger Escape Plan, where there's a lot of stuff on the Dillinger Escape Plan that is sort of just general hard rock or fast metal or whatever. But then there's other parts where it's like, like we were saying before, a lot of the like the fucking the Morse code parts. We should call it
Yeah,
that. Like the Morse code section of
yeah,
Dillinger
yeah.
songs. You're not necessarily like, no one is like listening to that like, yeah, okay, all right, yeah,
Right.
and you're listening to that to get a challenge. And I think like for me, Number 12 Looks Like You isn't necessarily a band I like sit down and really like jam out to or whatever. They definitely have parts of a lot of their songs that are really like vibing parts and whatnot, and they really like sort of stand out and they have real like re-listenability. But for me, because they kind of, the Number 12 Looks Like You exists in the extreme.
Hmm.
They exist in the extreme. So I think for me, as a dude listening to music, to sort of challenge like what I may consider like normal music or whatever, that's like the value I get from Number 12 Looks Like You.
When you say listening to it is like a challenge, do you mean like is it a challenge to listen to it, or is it a challenge? Do you mean like a challenge to like imagine playing it or like try to play it? Is that what you mean?
A little bit of both. They definitely, now they don't do the weird time signatures as much as say
You're like
Dillinger does.
challenging yourself, like to be like sit down and be like to say like yeah, to be
Yeah,
like get it and like it.
to like, yeah, challenge myself to like follow what's going on,
I get that. Yeah,
to
that is
actually,
very much like the Dillinger Escape Plan. I totally that is a very good connection to make like
well,
that. That's it's like kind of it is a challenge. It's like eating like healthy cereal or healthy, like it's like sometimes you're like, sometimes I don't want to fucking scarf down a goddamn big salad, but I know when I do that I can have a couple pieces of pizza and I'm gonna be able to poop great tomorrow.
yeah,
You know
no,
what I mean? Like,
I think like the good weather this week really, what?
I'm sorry. No. So it's weird. You had way different weather than I made myself laugh about that very, very personal explanation of like, I like to eat a big salad so I can eat pizza and be able to poop. Uh, uh, no, you had good weather this week. And that's why,
Uh,
because we had pretty rainy, shitty weather this week.
Actually, no. You know what we did, but there was chunks of it where it was like nice and sunny. I think it's because at my job, I work out. I work not like outside, but in an open air like warehouse, and
Mhm.
it's just been fucking night. No, yeah, that's a good point. It has been very rainy all week.
I
I
just
think.
uh,
I,
I
I
just what is it called? Like blacked out my curtains or blacked out my windows up here to like get the more consistent lighting. And and so now like every time I'm up here, it seems like it's like 9 o'clock at night. So I have been thrown this week. I completely relate with this.
oh, you've been fucking hauled up in an attic. This is definitely
In a
Number
dark
12 looks
attic,
like.
listening to Number 12 looks like you just going like, yeah, 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 yeah.
You know what? I will get the test tubes back out. I will try to put that fucking pig's head in formaldehyde. That's the image I see. Like when I listen to Number 12 Looks Like You, I think of like a crazy scientist,
Mhm.
and he's just got like pigs heads and like fucking, I don't, what's the thing they put that shit in to preserve it? They're just hands and
It's come.
cum.
Yes.
Mm.
Mhm.
But he's got all of his like rusty tools and just like fucking different body parts floating in jars. I feel like that's what you play. You play Number 12 Looks Like You in your fucking pig head jar laboratory.
The next, if I was going to say there was a next level to Number 12 Looks Like You, and I think it's another like kind of connector bands, and it was almost the direction I went, by the way. I could have gone to the more chaotic side, or the more, let's say, challenging side, because it's a band that I've seen live. It's a band that I do enjoy, but it is not a band that I fucking like. I'll be like, yeah, let me throw on that album. Yeah, yeah. Like if it's like if a song comes on or somebody mentions them, I love to just. It's like a show that's really hard to understand, but you still enjoy. And
Yeah.
it's a band called The Locust.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
reminds me the Fall of Troy meets the Locust. Is
They're
what
another
number 12.
perfect example of this. Because here, I'll put it this way: like this is even the difference between Dillinger Escape Plan and Number 12 Looks Like You. If you were like, yo, tell me a real catchy part of a Dillinger song. You could still hum it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like it'd be like, tell me the catchy part of the Number 12 Looks Like You. You'd be like, like that's where the challenge comes from listening to this, because musically a lot of this shit doesn't really exist in any sort of with the exception of just having guitars and drums and vocals and stuff. They don't follow a lot of musical traditions.
Yeah, it's a uh there I never saw, I don't think I ever got to see them live or anything like that, but they were a peripheral band during my youths.
Yeah.
And I did, again, I enjoyed bands in that same let me like the category, I don't know, like the other category, the other bands that I would put in the same category that were like challenge bands that I did genuinely enjoy, but also like at one point I was like putting on the fucking, yeah, hey, and I was listening to like Pig Destroyer, Ed Gein, fuck, what was the other one? The number, or no, fuck, See You Next Tuesday.
Yeah.
I know I brought them up a couple times on here. Like there's I know there's more. I just can't remember all of them, but like these are like the personal, like the ones that I actually was like out of this genre, which would, I would be either, I would say, I don't know what, if necessarily Number 12 Looks Like You would fall into that category, but like the Locust, Ed Gein, stuff like that. The harder side of this would be, again, even though Number 12 Looks Like You is not a catchy, doesn't have catchy parts, but there is a more abrasive version of them in the genres, and it would be like something I always called in my youths grindcore. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. I don't listen to a lot of
Grindcore.
I don't li- I don't listen to a lot of grindcore. So I think possibly my interpretation of it may not be completely accurate, but I do think, generally speaking, they do fall into like the grindcore. But they also like the grindcore genre. But they also have the thing that always kind of was cool with me about the Number 12 Looks Like You is a lot of bands like this can just play a lot of crazy shit and scream a bunch and stuff and just be like, because there's a difference between like pushing boundaries and just being unlistenable, you know?
Yeah.
And like
Yes. And
there
that's
was
the difference.
yeah, and there was like genuine shit in the Number 12 Looks Like You where like they would have like legitimate like jazz parts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they had a very heavy jazz influence on their shit, which was very interesting.
Yeah. And very little bullshit. I was very pleasantly surprised because, again,
What do
I
you
was
mean by that?
just like, as far as like just the antics, like there's antic shit. I don't like, there's a lot of times where I'll see a band, and if it's all like, I do enjoy and it is more doable nowadays with like tracks and stuff like that when you can do it live. But when they have like elements in the music that they can't, like, that
Do
aren't
live?
in the band, yeah, you can't really do live if you just play a track and then do something
Yeah.
else. Like there's stuff like that like I've seen, but I've been in like in at shows where the reason I feel like I think the Fall of Troy is like a better version of Number 12 Looks Like You, or it's maybe my version of it. Like, again, kind of borrowing what you were saying, like this is my version of this.
Yeah.
Like it's because like they're doing it with a 3-piece, you know what I mean? Like 3-piece exclusive.
Yeah, and I gotta double check this, but someone told me that they don't play in drop D either. I just assumed Fall of Troy plays in drop D. Apparently they don't.
No, as far as I know, like I know very little of what they're doing up there, but I know it's very impressive, and I have not gotten to see them live, and I forgot. I've started a new list, by the way,
Which list?
a list of bands to see before I die, and I just restarted it. Like I've
Oh,
never,
okay.
and it's so far it's Propaganda's on there. Also, now Fall of Troy, because I don't think I actually ever got to see Fall of Troy live, but they've they actually, when I was looking up, I was doing research for the show. I looked up and they actually had a release in 2020. So
I was trying to look up one of their songs. To where I found out they weren't playing in Drop D. It was off their first album. It was called Laces Out Dan. Because I remember that there's like a big build up in the beginning of that song, and then this sort of like they have that whole part in the beginning of the song, and I was like, that has to be in Drop D, and it wasn't. So it blew my mind.
God, I love that song.
Anyway, do you just want to do a Fall of Troy episode?
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Hey, number 12 looks like Fall of Troy. Let me tell you what, guys. I think this is not necessarily I think that's what it is though. Is I like the melodic versions of these. Like I do want it to be catchy. Yeah, I'm a fucking shithead that likes guitar solos. Everyone, you know what I mean? Like it's a there's
well,
and there's a lot, like you said, there is a line of like where this is abrasive and this is whatever. It doesn't seem like unnecessary. Even with number 12 looks like you. At no point did I think it was like a gratuitous like like thing. Like it was all in its. It was.
It all felt like they did it on
tasteful.
purpose.
It was tasteful. Like it was within the realm of the album or whatever. But like Jesus Christ, there's so many times where you're like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? Not in bands like this.
Yeah.
So when there is a line a lot of times to do this, but when you can do close to, or it reminds me, it just reminded me literally of the lead singer of the Locust if he was fronting Fall of Troy early on in their career. And like I feel like, and I mean that as a compliment, as like that's a really cool like
damn, I forgot about the Locust.
That's a very interesting fucking lane to be under. You know what I mean? Like that's really interesting.
Yeah.
So what was it about this one that stood out to you? Was it necessarily the did you ever get to see them live?
No, because they didn't catch on for me more than just like oh my god, like this is something you can do in music, you know what I mean? They were just sort of, well, you ever hear the expression the Overton window? I think it's sort of like the general frame of like allowable shit, like sort of what we allow as a society,
like a cultural strike zone.
Yeah, I believe that's what it is. And they always talk about stuff pushing the Overton window, where if you have certain things that push it a little bit farther than it used to be, it makes stuff that used to seem weird a little bit more normal now. And I think for me, like my personal Overton window was definitely like, this is the big benefit of the band. While I may not have sort of long-term admiration for them or long-term listening to them, or I guess I do have long-term admiration, because while this album specifically I don't listen to very long-term, it sort of took what I understood as music and just made it like way bigger, especially in the metal category.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me, because that's the thing, this music's very like, I'm not gonna say, it's not like, it is complicated, it's hard to play, but it's like hard to truly like decipher in a way. You know, and that's not even necessarily to say like, if you can't figure it out, you're dumb. It's just, you need to know a certain grouping of things to really, I think, break down what they're doing and things like that, and like because it's so frantic. There's a lot going on. You know, you can easily get lost in it and stuff. And I think if you take, sort of sit down and listen to this and take the time to try to get it, whether you like it or not, it'll make you go back. It's almost like you put one of those rings on your bat to warm up, and then when it's time to go actually crack fucking dingers, you're hitting home runs all day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is almost this is like going to the gym of listening to music. So fucking, you listen to this all day, and then when you actually go listen to like Fall of Troy or something, it sounds like it's like easy to comprehend on like a fucking pop music stand. Wait, no, I'm not making sense.
It's like a shake weight for your brain.
Yeah. It like really, it's high. It's just like, very stimulating music but you need to. Here's the thing, like we were saying about Dillinger, if you just zone the fuck out, it can sound like just fucking white noise in the background. But if you take the time to like really focus on it, same way as Dillinger, it can become very, whether you like it or not, it can become very stimulating and musically make you work mentally harder.
Yeah. It compels you. It challenges your brain. It's so funny that that's like a genre of music. Like for I know that there's people that genuinely enjoy, because we've touched on it a couple times, like in this episode, in the past, everything like that. That there's just sometimes like it's art is definitely subjective, but there is such a strange, uh I find it so weird, and I don't mean it to like genre shame, but I do find it so strange what some people listen to.
Yeah.
Like there's certain times that people like so genuinely love techno music, or like or something, like fucking love fucking techno music and know everything about it, and they start like, or even how I feel about when people start explaining how much they love soccer and how much detail they go into about everything. I'm sure it's how people sometimes feel when I start explaining like MMA or fucking hockey or something like that.
Yeah.
That eventually you're just speaking another language to somebody, but it's such a strange thing to kind of enjoy it and to kind of be in it, and
What's
but
your
I don't, I feel so disconnected from that genre, even though I've even been, like I said, been to a couple shows and something like that. Like I just don't, it's so funny to it almost feels electronic to me.
okay. Is techno like your genre that you can't comprehend why people like it?
I mean, I get it if you
Oh
like
no, no, no.
talking, like if you like doing drugs, but like
Yeah.
yeah, I'm the person that doesn't, I just don't fucking get it.
The one for me, and it's like I'm not trying to be mean, like I'm not trying to shit on people. It's just like with food, people who put mustard on stuff. I don't I've seen enough people do it that I know people like it, but it just does not register for my brain. So my genre is reggaeton. I've seen enough people listen to it and I know they like it, but I cannot, like I just don't. It sounds terrible every time I hear it.
Yeah.
Like, you ever see those videos where it'll be people in like a busy New York street and it's clearly like 2 a.m. and you just have people blasting reggaeton like it's 2 p.m. That's
Yeah.
That's my literal nightmare. Because if you're gonna be a guy or gal who's just blasting reggaeton at 2 a.m., like you have no fear of anyone. You know what I mean? You have no, I shouldn't say no fear of it, but you just have like, if someone pops their head out, like, yo, turn that the fuck off. You're not gonna be like, oh my God, so sorry.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize. Oh my goodness. I hadn't even realized that I was playing on my Marine speakers.
Well, it's like anyone blasting music at an inopportune time, like knows what they're doing. It's just their ability to give a shit is non-existent.
Yeah.
So yeah, but also I just don't like my one buddy at work will be blasting reggaeton all the time, and it's just like every time. Like I get it. I can see. I've been at bars where you're like fucking, throwing them back, partying with people. The same thing as you said. My like little asterisk on it was like involving something to get you fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I could be at a bar fucked up and they're playing a bunch of music and then they throw like a reggaeton song in the middle of it and just vibe out. That, and also there's a bunch of country I'll listen to, but that sort of mainstream country that is just like might as well be like a Taylor Swift song, but they put like
Yeah.
they put a fiddle and a guy singing like this who's talking about his truck and Budweiser.
Yeah.
Now, and I'm not hating on trucks or Budweiser. Any trucks or Budweiser that listen to this, I'm not hating on that. I'm hating on country singers appropriating your culture.
My father was a truck.
My father was a Budweiser, so we're all
Thank you. Well, man, Andy, honestly, then we can relate. We can say whatever the fuck we want.
about trucks and Budweiser.
But there's a weird thing that like it almost, I almost have that same disconnect with this same genre, because I don't, I like it. I like a couple of the bands. I can't tell you the last time I really delved into Pig Destroyer or Ed Gein or any of those other bands.
Well,
Uh,
because
aside
like,
from just to be like, oh, let me check them out, and I go like, yep, I remember that. Yeah, all
well,
right.
I was going through it all. I was going through it all this week, where I was like thinking, like, all right, because like, what did we listen to last week? Oh, Dillinger Escape, or let's say the week before it, like Enter Shikari. Well, even Dillinger Escape Plan, I was finding myself being like, all right, I'm just gonna be putting some of this shit away at work. I'll pop some on the headphones, and it was still like I was still able to like vibe out to it. You know what I mean? Or it'd be like you could still rock Dillinger while you're driving down the highway. What's the opportune time to
Right.
really dig into the number 12 looks like you? You know what I mean? Can you see your, like, that's why I kept bringing up how
Perfect.
nice it was this week. It wasn't, thinking back, it wasn't as nice as I remember it being, but there were moments, dude. You got to know, I'm used to it being fucking like 20 degrees in a fucking warehouse with the giant gate still open, and the only benefit you have is that the wind's not directly hitting you. So it being fucking 40, 50 degrees all week, it was fucking gorgeous in my book.
Yeah, you're like picnic weather.
Yeah. I was like, you guys just want to work shirtless, but like, it's just like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna drive down the street. You're gonna drive down the block, like sun shining, just blasting the number 12 looks like you. You're like, no, it's not good. Like reading music, it's not good. Like, end of the day, gonna sit on the back porch, grab a cigar, a glass of whiskey, and play the number. So it's like,
I would never listen to this on headphones. You know what I mean? Like I would never listen to this on headphones. Like it would probably give me a headache.
yeah, I was fine. I was
Old man.
I was having trouble finding an opportune, but that's not, I always like to talk like a band sits around the computer and watches this all together. And that's not to like shit on the number 12 looks like you. Like I was saying before, were you saying I am a little bit?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
But no, for me, that's not the shit on them, because like I said, over my time, I got a lot. Fuck you guys, your music's hard.
Can you hear this? Let me turn it up for you.
So I still got a lot of benefit out of listening to their music. It almost goes back to like you were saying about like eating a salad. And I'm not even trying to be funny, because like as a fatty boom batty, wait, what was it? Fatty 2x4 can't fit through the bedroom door. As a resident fatty 2x4, I don't ever want to eat a salad, but it's like the benefit I get from eating a salad is immense. And the benefit I feel like I learn a little bit about myself and about my musical taste every time I listen to one of these crazy bands. Because like I said, they challenge you to truly sit there and be like, I know what's going on. I know what they're doing. I know what's happening. It takes a lot out of you.
To me, they're almost like they're like bar trivia knowledge. Like they're really only going to come up in a very specific interaction. You know what I mean? Like you're never gonna if you absolutely love this band or this genre or anything like that, you're gonna and again, not to directly shit on them, but shit on them a little bit, to be like open up a little bit, try something fucking else, like like, because exactly like you said, I can't fucking jam this, dude. I can't enjoy this. Like there's a thing about that. The thing about my art, Andy, you see, is I don't like it when a show is impossible to understand. Because when it's impossible to understand, and it's not like and they do that on purpose, like it doesn't make it fun for me. It makes me go,
what do you mean? Oh, you mean like overly complicated?
yeah, you're doing something.
I thought you were saying a fucking like a foreign show they forgot to put subtitles on.
Oh. No. Like when I don't understand a show,
number
like,
12 number 12 looks like you is a Swedish horror movie without subtitles. That's what it is.
dude, can I be completely honest with you? I started watching WandaVision on the third episode, and we watched the whole third episode in German because it turns out I thought it was part of the show, and Dom was like, "Yeah, I don't know really what's happening with this. Her
Yo,
brother was
you guys smoke too much weed.
but we realized that Stanley, our little kitty cat, Lord Stanley, had hit the Apple TV remote and turned the language to German. And so we were watching a show in German, not understanding why it was in German, but we are like, but they're speaking. We can see it's dubbed in German, but we were getting English subtitles because the English subtitles were still on. So we're like, this is really a weird. This is a weird angle. I see why everybody's talking about this show. This is definitely way different than every other Marvel movie I've ever seen.
I had
And then
my cat. What?
Your cat did what?
I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Your cat cut me.
Yeah, my cat's
Well,
gonna
fuck yeah!
come back here, buddy. You gotta flip Pat off. No, my cat turned off the TV with his butt the other day.
Oh, what a cutie.
He's been affecting things with his butt. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
WandaVision. Yo, dude, you watched WandaVision in German? You watched the whole episode in German and didn't fucking pick up on it?
I started because people told me it really picks up in the third episode. And I was like, well, then I'm going to start on the third episode. Why do I don't waste my time? That's what I'm talking about. Don't waste my time. But then I get to the third episode and I definitely don't understand why they're all speaking in German. And it turns out they weren't supposed to be speaking in German, Andy. And did I go back and watch the episode in English? Nah, I got it. Yeah, something you're sad about, something you had a kid or something, whatever. I don't fucking care.
That's so fucking funny. You're ridiculous, dude.
I hate that show.
You started on the third episode?
Yep.
Pat, that's insane.
Why? What did I miss?
The first two episodes.
Oh, the first two episodes when you don't know at all what the fuck is going on. And
you know, like, you want to know the
we got you.
You want to know what the craziest version of that is? I remember I was watching season 2 of The Walking Dead and it was fucking trash.
You started on season 2?
I was talking no. I started on season 1 ruled. Beginning of season 2 stinks. And I remember I was talking to Lemaire about it, and Lemaire was like, dude, just get to the 9th episode. That's all you have to do. And I go,
you.
And I went, no. Just wait 9 hours.
How dare you?
And then I picked up The Walking Dead a while later, and I just like, it was rough, but I just was like, I'm just gonna watch this to watch it.
Andy, you fool.
Dude, when I got 9 episodes in though, I gotta tip my hat to Mare Bear. I gotta tip my hat. It fucking popped off.
It was worth 9 episodes. I enjoyed season 2.
It was pretty good for the next. It was pretty good for the next 2 seasons, and then they started doing basically the same plot every season.
Yeah, the exact same plot. You can't. It's actually scarier because it's the humans, not the zombies, and they.
Walking Dead.
Get it?
Walking Dead is basically they spend a season trying to find a good shelter to live in. Yeah. And they find it. And then that shelter immediately gets jeopardized. So they spend a whole season defending it. They lose the shelter, and now the next season starts. Oh, we've really diverted back on our humanity. We better go find a shelter. It's the same show. I will give. Steph said the past 2 seasons have been pretty great, though. They did have a huge dip for a while, but the past 2 seasons have been pretty great.
I'm fine.
Also,
it's one of those things that, like, after a while, like, yeah, you get 9 seasons in. Oh, that's when it really picks up. So just get through 9 shitty seasons. Dominique will watch a whole season of a show that she doesn't like.
That's pretty crazy.
Why? If you watch, I will give you the pilot. I hate most pilots of most things. If I like a pilot of a show, I'm like, this might be one of my new favorite shows. But
I've actually the older I've been getting, I've been more content and just being like, I don't like it. I'm not giving it more time.
Yeah.
Because I used to really give. I think it's just the older I'm getting, the less generous I am with my time.
Once I found out that WandaVision was only half hours episodes, I was like, oh, I probably could watch episode 1 and 2. But then I was like, no, I'm not going to just give them an hour just to go either way. It just seemed to me like it was a movie that could, or it was a movie that they were like, well, I guess we'll just turn this into a show.
Yeah,
Like
that's
we have too
why.
much shit to shave out. Let's just turn it into a show. Half-hour episodes, 20 minutes of credits, 10 minutes of show.
Yeah.
And that way, and that's how they chopped it up because it was like 50-50 show to credits for sure.
What?
You watch WandaVision, right?
No.
Oh, WandaVision, like it's like they're 30-minute episodes,
Yeah.
and Manny joked that it was about 20 minutes of credits, but genuinely, it seems like 10 minutes of credits,
What? Like up top?
top and bottom,
That's
open and
crazy.
not and like both, like all together, the top and bottom credits are
Yeah.
all. There's very little after. There's only like a couple episodes that have after credit things.
A
It's
third of
very
the
weird.
episode is credits.
Yeah, it's very like it's very scrambled how they all like it's not that and Andy, it is not any different than any other Marvel thing at all.
Dude,
You don't need to see it.
that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of people fucking jerk off to the Marvel shit. And I'm like, dude,
Oh shit.
once you get about 4 movies in,
Yeah.
four of any movie, you start, oh, I know the formula.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
How are they going to win? Oh, they're going to lose. Oh, well, there's a brand new villain that we never heard of until the last second, and there's a whole backstory that they're going to cram in the last 10 seconds, and then they lose good, and they're one, and they're good, and back on their home planet. Good.
And I remember watching what the fucking
Every
remember
time.
like the big like 2-part adventure Avengers thing with like Thanos is the big bad guy, and they're like,
Hey,
and
everybody's dead. Uh-oh.
I will say I got fucked up and watched that Avengers movie, and it was a wild ride. I'll give them props on that. But no, like, what the fuck? Yeah, dude, there was just like a lot of the event. I was gonna like pinpoint one or two, but a lot of the Marvel movies just have like a standard formula to them, and that's why I'm not even gonna say like they're good movies per se, but I will give the DC movies credit because they actually like go for it. And the problem that happens with going for it is there's a higher likelihood you're gonna pump out a shitty movie. But I respect going for it more than I respect like playing it safe.
Yeah, but it's almost like it's how people want to like people go more for like content driven audiences and algorithm driven audiences.
Yeah.
Like Marvel's doing this thing of like, here's the formula, you all know you love it, but here's the guy who was your favorite growing up. Now we're doing that movie, and they go like, cool, now I get one.
Yeah.
And then you go like, oh look, now he's got his cape. Do you remember when he got his cape in the books? And they go, yeah. And they go, now he's flying. Do you see him? And they go, oh. It's like, God damn it, grow. I understand being like nostalgic and but like literally that's all each one of these is I remember reading that. Like, ugh, fuck
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, and they're the biggest movies in the goddamn world, but you're supposed
Stop
to
being so excited about fucking reading, you fucking dorks. Ugh.
It's funny too because they're like you're supposed to feel like being a nerd is so goddamn mainstream, but none of them act like it is. It drives me fucking crazy because it's like they act like they acknowledge that so and so had the whatever stone in his blah blah blah, and you're like, they're the biggest movies in the fucking world. You're not clever or interesting.
Yeah, this is it. Hey guys, $100 million bet. Who's got me? I bet the good guys win. Hey, I'm gonna bet you 1,000,000 zillion bagillion Thanos bucks that if the good guys lose, I'll give them to you. But if the good guys win, you gotta give them to me. Take that bet.
I think one of the reasons, because they're like the movies are so big and they have to appeal to like every country at the same time. Like it's hard enough to appeal to all the different demographics in America, but they have to also appeal to every country. at the exact same time. So I think that's a big reason why, because they're just there to make some money. They're just there to make some money. So content wise, they're gonna end up lacking.
I'll tell you what. There is one movie that is in whole overall way less entertaining than, or I mean, depending. I guess it's subjective, but let's just say of lower quality, of lower stock, Andy, than most of the Marvel films, at least in budget, but
Yeah.
has 10 times better of an ending than any Marvel movie I've ever seen. And unless you've read the book or blah, 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 you won't know, you will never see it coming. And it is magic. If you haven't seen, I believe it's The Mist, and it's based on a Stephen King book. It's one of the best endings of any movie, of all the Marvel movies.
Wait, you said it's a Marvel movie?
No, it's not a Marvel movie. The Mist is a Stephen King movie.
Wait, so you're just like, so there's a movie that's not a Marvel movie that has a great ending. Why did you bring that up? I missed something.
I'm saying that it's better. It has a better ending than any of the Marvel movies. Like, it's more compelling. It's more
Well,
like,
yeah.
it's less entertaining than the movie, maybe in whole, but it's definitely a way better ending.
Pat, if we're just gonna bring up movies better than the Marvel movies, we'll be here all day.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right.
I'm not mad you brought it up, but that was so random.
It seemed like you were pretty upset about that. I apologize for bringing up non-Marvel stuff. I know Captain Andy's here.
Sorry, I've been
get the haircut, and all of a sudden you're fucking Mr. Captain America.
I've been disgruntled ever since Captain America took the top Captain A spot. That's for Captain Andy, and I've been real tight about it.
Well, he's AM and you're AN. That's just how it works. It goes alphabetical.
To be fair, Pat, you did a weird thing where you were just like, so, by the way, here's a random movie that's just good.
Yeah.
I'm hurting you.
We're supposed to be talking about number 12 looks like you. We're talking about fucking Marvel movies.
I feel like I'm hurting you.
You want to talk about lanes right now.
I feel like I'm
defensive, and I don't give a shit because I get good.
I'm hurting you right now, and I sense that.
Why do you keep doing it then?
What?
Why do you keep doing it then?
Well, I'm sorry.
Stop looking at me like that.
My shoulder hurts. Judy. I miss Judy. That's what it is. I miss Judy.
Maybe try Betty. A little Black Betty. You know what I'm talking about?
Pat, I'm sorry.
Take some Black Betties. Take some fucking some vodkas. You take your whiskey drink. You take a Valium.
Piss the night away.
Take what else?
Pat.
You know what you should take? Opioids. And drink alcohol tonight, Andy.
Pat, I'm sorry.
You should do heroin. Have you ever tried heroin? Take a big old full needle, the whole thing. Say, give me 2 orders of heroin.
I would like 1 large heroin.
Heroin. Double it. Supersize it.
You know what? Make that heroin a double.
Yeah. I suggest that you should do heroin. I think that's great for your back. Have them shoot it right in your back.
I don't know why I got so mean. I got so mean.
I'm telling you to overdose right now. What are you talking about? I'm way meaner.
Yeah, but mine was out of nowhere. You're like, why are you suggesting a movie from me, you fucking piece of shit?
What are you talking about the fucking Mist for, stupid?
I don't understand the through line. Shut up.
Pat, what about the Mist? Why don't we get back on topic?
I hurt you. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I don't forgive you, but it's okay.
I'm going to do heroin to make it all better.
Do extra heroin. Ask for double what you would normally give a pro.
Can I get a double heroin straight up?
Yeah, with a heroin chaser, please.
Heroin neat.
African-American tar, please.
All right, man. We got to get out of here.
Do you want to know what album I think you should do, or do you want to just tell me to fuck myself again?
If it has any letters of The Mist, I'll fucking kill myself.
All right. Well, it's The Mist.
We are a movie podcast.
Yeah, goodbye.
You should do that just to spite me. You're like,
Katie,
we're.
What about we take it to the cinema?
We're watching The Mist. You know it all. Fuck.
Hey, you ever see the ending to The Mist? I suggest you start there. There is an album in particular that this I felt like was, like you said, kind of my version of the number 12 looks like you,
Mm-hmm.
Mongrel. And it was actually, I believe, it was made a year after, or released a year after
Mm.
Mongrel, but it is
Ooh.
by band mentioned before, The Fall of Troy, and it is The Manipulator or Manipulator.
Hell yeah. I'm excited because that's the one I stopped listening to them on.
You didn't listen to this?
No, I've listened to like a bunch of their shit, but I really only ever listened to their self-titled and Doppelganger.
Excellent. Yes. So yes, Andy, I think this is the sweet spot for Fall of Troy. This is when they started. This is when they finally reached. I love older Fall of Troy too,
Mm-hmm.
but it's almost like Every Time I Die or Propaganda or No Effects or any of the other of my like favorite bands lists. The fact that the old stuff and the new stuff I kind of like equally. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't really change for me. So there's not a lot of this I feel like is not so different, but it is markedly different from their older stuff. And I feel like a little bit more uh it's just perfect. It's just, Andy, it's just perfect.
Mhm. It's just fucking perfect.
Just perfect. It's kind of like this movie, The Mist. Well, it reaches a level, a pinnacle, if you will.
Pat,
And
I've never been more angry. Please
uh,
do not bring up the mist.
guys, this Saturday on TNT, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch commercial free for the first time ever, The Mist on TNT. Make sure you check it out.
God, I really came at you for that.
I'm sponsored by also Sierra Mist. Uh,
Also, you pull out a little squirt gun. You're getting missed.
hey, guess what? You missed me. Boom, boom.
So we will be back here next week and try not to
No way,
miss it.
Andy. Oh, I stepped on that. And I'm
Yeah.
happy about it.
All right. I'm gonna go get my shit together and then get ready for WWE Fastlane watch along. Pat, what are you doing tonight?
I'm gonna probably go eat some food and also eat some other food.
Watch the
Oh,
Mist.
I'm gonna eat ice cream. I'm gonna eat ice cream.
You're the fucking man, dude.
Andy, I'm gonna fucking eat ice cream, dude. I got pistachio ice cream in the freezer.
I want to grow up to be just like you, dude.
You know what? I feel like I'm turning into Kramer without the racism, and I'm happy.
I feel like I'm a heavy later years Kramer, if you know what I mean.
I'm like a retired Kramer, which I don't even know what that looks like. He kind of always retired. You know, Andy, you ever see Seinfeld, the show?
No.
It was
All
a
right.
great show.
All right.
Andy, there's a soup Nazi. There's Newman. Oh, Newman. He's like his arch nemesis.
I
He's a
want
big Superman fan. If we were bringing it back to comics,
Pat, please stop. Pat, stop. I'm getting flashbacks to you bringing up the mist. I'm gonna be mean to you. Stop. Don't make me hurt you. All right, guys, gals, everyone in between. Thank you for hanging out and listening to us. We love you. Bye-bye. All right, stream stopped. Oh wait, now I have to stop the recording.